I've been working on this perhaps more than I realise, so a quick video to capture the changes. I set out to test the new camera module, which means wiring it up to the board. But before I did that, I decided I wanted to test the other features of the board, which in this design means the turntable. I started out with the parts I stripped out of the Mark IV. I used a TB6612 motor control board and a beefy 12 volt NEMA 17 motor. I made the timing belt driven by a 20 tooth gear on the motor, and that drives this 400 tooth belt around the outside of this 3D printed turntable, and that gives me 1800 steps per revolution. But it was very noisy and a bit rough to actually run. In the previous design I had one motor turning a pair of chunky lead screws, and they were pushing assemblies along a pair of linear rails, so it really needed some grunt. But here I'm just spinning a little table in free space, so there's no grunt needed. So I've switched right down to one of these little geared stepper motors. This is a 5 volt 28 B-ball BYJ geared stepper motor, and this gives me 512 steps per revolution, and it's buttery smooth and completely silent. It's not going to have any torque, but it doesn't need it. In other news, I've started to mount the components into their box. I'm just 3D printing frame sections and clipping them over the rim of this box for now. These frames allow the content to be vertical even though the sides of the container are actually canted. Here I have the camera board and the Pico mounted on some proto board, which is not wired yet, and I have the Powell lens laser tacked on the end here. I'm thinking I should attach the turntable to this as well to make it into a single unit rather than fixing it to the bottom of the box. That way I can model the whole thing as an assembly in CAD and make measurements off the drawing rather than trying to measure it accurately glued into the box. Not really sure about that yet. In terms of next steps, well, now that I've proven I can drive the turntable, I guess I need to start wiring up the camera and try and get a first image off that. Thank you for watching.